Hey everybody, how's it going? Dan Shinder here on Drum Talk TV Live with my guests, Emmanuelle Caplette and Anika Nilles, and Emmanuelle Caplette. I never know what order. I don't want to disrespect anybody. And on the graphic that our player is on, I just did it in alphabetical order by first name. I thought that'd be easier. I'm coming to you live from Globe, Arizona at Drum Talk TV headquarters, which is 100 miles east of Phoenix, Arizona, in the mountains. And Anika, where are you?
I'm here in Mannheim, Germany.
In Mannheim, Germany. And I talked to a friend of yours last night, Patrick Metzger. He says hello.
Oh, nice.
Yeah,
awesome.
And he might be joining us too. And Emmanuelle, where are you coming from? You're in Montreal. It's your home, right?
Yeah, exactly. Montreal, Canada.
Great. And I'm going to share this in a couple places while Gilbert, our associate producer, shares it around. And folks, tell us where you're watching from. And we're going to talk about all kinds of fun stuff with Emmanuelle and Anika. And you're more than welcome to ask questions. I'll be looking at the comments from time to time to take some questions about their event, which we'll talk about drumming, which of course we'll talk about. You could ask about gear, you could ask about exercises, anything that you want related to drumming and music, and we'll have some fun. And folks, if you know someone who could benefit from this interview or would enjoy it, please go ahead and share it. And I'm just going to click a couple other buttons real quick, but we'll get started. Let's start with this. You both have an event that you're doing together, which I can only imagine how much the attendees will learn, and we'll get into that. Let's first talk about the two locations and the dates, and Gilbert's going to drop in a link to a promo video that has all the info as well. You've got one in Montreal and one in Germany. The one in Montreal is in July, and the one in Germany is in July. The one in Montreal is in October, right?
Exactly.
Great. Tell us about the dates and the locations first.
So, Anika, you can start the German camp, the first one.
Yes, right. So we do a camp together, or we do two camps together, and we do one in Germany, which is happening in July, and this will be at a nice venue, a nice location. It's an old building with some rooms and a room with a big stage. So it's built for playing music, and we have the chance to teach there. And this camp is special because it's for female drummers only.
Ooh, I forgot about that.
Yeah.
That's awesome, and we'll get back to that too. Emmanuelle, you want to talk about the Montreal location?
Yeah, sure. So the Montreal location is, it will be at Studio Basebin in Montreal. So it's in the center of Montreal. So it's close of everything, restaurant, nice places. And it's called EDA, Drum Camp Education for Drummers and Arts. So it's for everyone all around the world. So it's going to be cool. And the cool thing in Montreal is we will have access to Roland kits. Everyone in the room will have access to a Roland kit. So
Which one? Do you know which one you're going to have?
I think it will be the TD17.
Nice.
Yeah,
That's
very cool.
Great gear. That's awesome.
Yes.
Cool.
So thanks, Roland.
Will both camps basically, will they be conducted the same way? Like the same experience at both?
It will be similar.
Similar, yeah.
Okay.
Right.
So what could an attendee expect to learn? What are some of the things you'll be covering?
You know, so many things, because the cool thing with Anika and myself is we are totally different. So we have so many different approaches. And of course, on my side, I will talk about rudiments, hand technique, grooves, jazz stuff. Anika, I think you will talk about subdivision too for the drumming part.
Yeah, I talk about the stuff I went through in all these years of practicing. So I will go through subdivision studies and also odd meter stuff and groove-based stuff, and also how to play in a musical frame, like playing with bands and stuff like this. It all will be a topic.
That's great.
We also want to talk about improvisation, soloing, business talking. We want to talk. Important thing in Montreal, we will invite a sound engineer to talk about recording. It's very, very important. So
we have this in both camps as well, right? So, yeah.
That's great. How to mic drums and different things like that.
Yeah, exactly. Or how to record yourself without budget. You know, like it's not necessary to buy microphone like $3,000. You can record some things very cool with low budget.
Yeah, absolutely. And I'm glad that you're going to be addressing that, because while we do get so many submissions every month from around the world, sometimes I'll talk to musicians, drummers, and I'll say, hey, send us a video. We have over 1 million followers. It's great exposure. And sometimes they kind of trip out a little bit, thinking that they don't have the right setup and the quality is not going to be good enough. And I tell them that it doesn't have to be a Steven Spielberg movie. Yes, we want the audio to be clear. We want the picture to be clear. But it's more about the content than the actual production. It's more about your playing. And I when I do my vlogs a few times a week, I'm broadcasting from my iPhone. And people are always commenting on how good my kit sounds. And I'm blasting music through a PA. I'm not going through the mixer or anything like that. So I'm happy that you're addressing that, so that they can, just for a few dollars or stuff they might already have, put together some really nice videos. That's great.
Yeah, that's good. Yeah, that's great and important, because so many people send me videos, and sometimes this is sad because I cannot watching because the sound is just crappy, you know. So it's
trash cans.
Distortion, and it's not fun to hear, so I don't appreciate their work. So I'm like, if you want to do it again, send me again with a good audio, would be nice.
Right, absolutely.
Yeah.
That's great.
And we both have this YouTube experience,
Yes.
where we produced a lot of videos by ourselves or with the help of engineers, and so we just want to share these experiences and the knowledge we have
Right.
with attendees, yes.
And will you both also be addressing to the drummers the importance of understanding music as far as other instruments? Like, Anika, I know that you compose and you write music and play keys on your own music and things like that. And Emmanuelle, I know you're very musical as well. I think that a lot of drummers might take that for granted, that even if you don't play other instruments, it's important to understand how those other instruments work in relation to each other. Just one kind of far-reaching example, when I was in concert band as a teenager in junior high school, I loved watching how the horn section worked compared to the woodwinds, and just how a concert band interacted in the different sections. And it's the same thing in a rock band or a pop band or a jazz band or a fusion band, understanding the relationship between not just bass and drums, but the guitar or guitars and keyboards, vocals, all those different things.
Yeah, definitely. This will be a part of my lesson as well. So make the connection between the instruments and your playing, and play with open ears, stuff like this. Yeah, absolutely.
Great. And I also think it's important for any musician to, whether you're playing cover songs or originals, if you're not the singer or one of the vocalists, I think it's important to know the lyrics and understand the phrasing, because that's another instrument. And to ignore that is almost like not really paying attention to the composition or what you're playing along with, There's inflections on the drums we could do with the vocals, just like we would do with the bass or the guitar.
And it's important to play for the song, and we have to understand what the songs mean,
Yeah,
so
that's true. It's good to know what the songs mean, So I have a question that might sound like kind of a dumb question. Why all female drummers for both events?
So we knew this question were coming up.
And I don't send anybody my questions, folks, just so you know. They, I think, just know me well enough to know other people would ask.
Yeah, I mean, this idea came up also through our experiences in teaching and doing drum camps and all these drum clinics, and we both have the experience that that the female students, they come to us and ask us specific questions about being a female in this music business, and
Right.
how to handle all these struggling thoughts and all this inner fights you have sometimes, and we thought probably it would be a good idea to just build a frame or an environment where we can talk about that stuff, where we have the time to go through all these questions and to motivate them to keep going. And that was the main idea in bringing up this female drum camp. So
That's great. I know that from my own experience through Drum Talk TV, I've had a lot of conversation with ladies and girls who seem to still have an apprehension, that maybe they're a little afraid to ask those types of questions to male drummers, or they're a little bit unsure of how they're being perceived and whether or not they're taken seriously and being respected. And it's great that you're providing that environment, just like Drummer Girls United, the group that Tammy created. It creates that environment where you don't have to worry about that. You can all interact, ask questions, they can take advice, you can mentor them without those inhibitions of, oh, what will the guys think? Or I don't know if I want to ask him that question. Or it's great that you're providing that, which is awesome.
Yeah.
So
we
what?
see us
What?
a little
I'm sorry.
bit as
Go
a
ahead.
role. We just see us a little bit as the role model for them. So we just want to support this, Yeah.
Exactly. And you both have had great success over the years with what you're doing on YouTube and your own material and all the different clinics and workshops and festivals that you've been part of and things like that. So there's a wealth of information that they definitely can take advantage of. What advice do you each have? It's a two-part question. What advice do you each have for young girls or even women who want to take up drums, but they're a little bit apprehensive because it's viewed as a male industry? And what advice do you have for parents of young ladies who want to play drums?
Just do it, girls. Just do it, and don't think about what people think, whatever, male or female. Just, you love drumming, you want to start it, just do it. Me, in my mind, I never ask questions like that, like what people will think, blah, 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 blah. I'm like, I do my things. If you're not happy, it's not my business.
Yeah,
It's,
exactly.
just do it. That's it. It's simple. Don't be afraid, because when you are afraid, you don't go.
Yeah, you don't dive all the way in.
Yes. So.
Yeah. How about you, Anika?
Yeah, I'm totally with Emmanuelle. So just start it. When you like to play drums, start. Why thinking about not doing it?
Right. Just like anything else.
Yeah, just like anything else. Right. And for the parents, I have to share this quick story, okay? Because my parents, they supported me in this instrument from beginning on, and they just told me some months ago that they got in trouble with the neighbors around, because I grew up in a small village, and everyone knows everyone, and people, they couldn't understand that my parents let me play this instrument.
What's with these crazy parents?
Yeah, it was because it was more a male instrument, and my parents, they hide this completely from me.
Wow,
I didn't get
until
that
recently?
until a couple of months. They told me, neighbors told us it's not good and it's not cool. She should learn riding a horse or something.
Yeah. Riding a horse.
But not playing drums. And so this was really, really important for me to keep going, that my parents put all these thoughts from others away from me. just to keep having fun on the instrument.
And what did you say when they brought it up recently?
I was surprised because I know all these neighbors and they all support it now, you know.
Yeah, what do they think now?
Yeah, now they are happy that that I kept going with that.
Good.
And they ask me about stories, about traveling and all this stuff, you know. But yeah, it's really important that parents support the kids. And if they have an interest in something, doesn't matter if it's playing drums or doing sports or whatever, they just should support them. So that's it.
And Emmanuelle, I know that you were like 9 when you started in drum and bugle corps.
Yeah, well, yeah, it was in the drum line. So I play in my mom's apartment on the practice pad for 10 years. On the practice pad, not on drums.
Right.
No, practice pad. So from 9 until 18.
Yeah, you didn't play a drum set till you were in college, right?
Yes, I start at 18 to play.
And was it really strange, or was it easy to translate your skills to multiple drums and the kit and doing the groove?
It was easy, but it helped a lot. So my technique, I got it at that time. But the thing is, I didn't understand what mean groove at that time. For me, I was relaxed, but it wasn't relaxed at all. And so I start listening jazz and Dave Brubeck stuff, so many different things. And it took 3 years to really understand the groove, you know. So I started practicing a drum set from 18 to now. Yeah.
And who are some of, we'll go to Anika as well, but Emmanuelle, who are like maybe 5 of your top influences before, like in the beginning of drum set playing and now, other than me?
The first drummer I really listened, like it was Dave Weckl.
Mm-hmm.
And my mentor is Jeff Porcaro from Toto.
Yeah.
Steve Smith. There's so many drummers now. I can say my top 5, Vinny Colaiuta. Vinny.
Yeah, Vinny, definitely, yeah.
And the 5th one, I would say Anika.
Yeah, there you go.
Oh, no way.
There's so many different drummers. No, honestly, I respect so many drummers, their work, and it's super hard to say top 5.
Yeah, it is. How about you, Anika? Who are some of your... I'm sorry, what's that, Emmanuelle?
I'm just, I was saying, I'm just inspired by so many different drummers. I want to take some things about every drummer, you know?
Yeah. Absolutely. Anika, who are some of your biggest influences?
So I had 2 minutes more to think about it.
Yeah.
But my one is definitely also a Jeff Porcaro, one of my biggest influences, I would say. And then there is Steve Jordan.
Yeah.
I'm a lot of influenced by John Mayer music and Steve Jordan's drumming.
Mm-hmm.
And then there is Adam Ditch.
Yeah.
I appreciate his stuff a lot and listened a lot to his playing in my early years as well. And then I would say there is in the meanwhile, biggest idol, Chris Coleman.
Yeah. Great.
Yeah, I am really influenced by his playing as well. And also a guy which everyone knows, which had a lot of influence to my playing is Benny Krep.
Yeah, definitely.
Absolutely.
Great. Let me take a look and see if anyone has questions yet. Here's one. This is from Absho. It says, hi, Abby, a.k.a. Absho here. Question for both Anika and Emmanuelle. What type of drumming or genre still challenges you to the point of having to put in significant practice time to feel comfortable with it? That's a really good question.
My own stuff.
Really? That's great.
Yeah. I mean, all this jazz stuff. or
Yeah.
the fusion stuff is really challenging. If it's not written by myself, I need to understand the feeling of a song. I need to understand what the composer meant with the parts and understand it and feeling it. And this is the challenging part, mainly to play it fluidly and with feeling.
Mm-hmm.
Playing the stuff is one thing, but really get it and get into it is really challenging in that style of music.
Yeah, that last element that you mentioned, Anika, here's the analogy I use. I've been a John Bonham disciple since I was like 7 years old. And I've spent a lifetime learning his language, the little nuances in his playing. And whenever I go somewhere and I hear a band play Led Zeppelin music, there's a difference between playing the math and playing that feel and the groove and having a hi-hat just slushy enough or, you know, whatever it is. Otherwise, it sounds like every other song they're covering by every other band that they're covering. So I think that's what you mean by, you know, there's a difference between just playing it and really getting the feel of it and speaking the language, you know.
Right, yes. Yeah.
Great. Emmanuelle, how about you? What do you play that pushes you to have to really, like Absho says, put in significant time to really get your head around it and perform it like you want it to sound and feel?
Yeah, but for me, the you know, the Latin stuff, it's hard for me.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's so many different things and a lot of coordination, ostinatos and everything. I'm like, my head wants to explode, you know?
That happens to also be my throw my sticks genre. I just can't do it. I can't do Latin grooves. I'm I'm pretty good at polyrhythms and different things like that, but for some reason, I can't get the Latin thing down at all.
Yeah, me neither. And, you know, in Montreal, there's not a big music scene of that. So I don't have a lot of chance to practice that with a band.
With other players, yeah.
So, yeah. I think I have to do a trip in Cuba or whatever.
Yeah, go to Cosa with Alamaza.
In immersion, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah, but it's not my thing. But I try, but I know this is super hard for me. Yeah.
Yeah. Great. Let's see if we have other questions here. Let's see. Oops. Got something in the way on my screen. There we go. So let's see. Ingo Marte. Hey, Ingo. Ingo says... Oh, this is great. So Ingo, who's a very, very well-known drum tech, he's worked with just about everybody.
Nice.
And he's from Germany. Ingo asks both of you, what are some of your best warm-ups or warm-ups that work for you, your most productive warm-ups, I guess?
Like before a show or when we...
Yeah, before a show or before you just play or record or anything. Whichever you'd like to choose.
But warm up, you know, for me, it's always like warm up my hands, like maybe 10 minutes before a show. I grab my sticks and I play on my forearms. Hey, wait. Like,
oh, yeah. She showed me this when I was in Montreal. I kept dropping the sticks.
Like this.
Yeah, do you remember that, Emmanuelle? I kept dropping the sticks. Yeah, that's a good warm-up, absolutely. How about you, Anika? Do you have any special warm-ups that you do?
Yeah, before shows, I do the same stuff. I do also this on my forearms, and I do stretching stuff, less playing. Let's say I do just fast singles until my arms are burning. Ooh, and then I do a lot of stretching to not get tighten muscles while playing in the first 2 tracks also.
Right.
And this is what I'm doing mainly before shows. So, and when I'm practicing, I have several different warm-ups. Right now, I'm writing a book about this.
Great.
So because I have so many warm-ups, which I did in all these hotel rooms and before playing, so I just put them together as a book. Yeah.
Awesome. Looking forward to that. Let's see, what else do we have? Bear with me here. I'm sliding through the comments. Some great comments. A lot of love here.
Oh.
What's so funny?
So believe me, the camp will not boring. We will laugh a lot.
Oh, they're asking if you're coming to Texas, but so far it's just Montreal and
For
Mannheim,
now.
right? Yeah.
Maybe,
No.
we never know.
You can book us.
Yeah, book them, absolutely.
Yeah.
There's Ingo says, hello, Anika von dem Duchen Jontag.
What?
My Dutch and German is rusty, but Ingo, I think, is asking if you need a drum tech.
Oh yeah, probably. You can call me.
Great.
Just come around for a coffee or so.
Yeah. Let's see. And if you have questions, if you're just joining us or shy, don't be shy. Go ahead and ask questions. And thanks everybody for joining us live. There we go. Do you want to talk about the gear you each use? I know you both play different brands of gear. Why don't you kind of give a rundown? You both have great sounding drums and cymbals and everything. So kind of give everybody your experience with the different brands that you use and why you use which heads on your snares versus your toms. You know, anything like that would be very helpful, I'm sure.
It's a long topic.
Yeah.
I'm playing Sonor since 2005. And, I totally fell in love with this company. But when I was at school, I took my scholarship to buy a snare, a Sonor designer snare. And I was like, wow, I wish to get a chance to play on the full Sonor kit. And when I got my sponsorship, I was like super happy. And about the durability, the sound, and it's just you can recognize a Sonor wherever you are in the world, Mm-hmm. And I like this company. Of course, the drum sounds amazing, but I mean, Sonor is a family, and this is what I love the most.
Oh, that's great.
And I play now with the Vintage series on tour. And in my studio, I have the AQ2 right now.
Mm-hmm.
So I really enjoy it. And, we play both with Evans heads.
Okay.
And I use on my snare the heavyweight.
And is your snare wood or alloy, your main snare?
Wood,
Okay.
yeah. 14 by 6. Yeah.
Okay. And what do you use on the toms?
The EC2.
Okay.
And EC Rizzo on bottom, and the EMAD on the bass drum.
Great. And
Yeah.
you want to give a quick rundown of your cymbals?
Yeah, Sabian cymbals. Yeah, I play with all the HHX series.
Okay. Great.
Yeah, so 17, 18 crashes, 10 splash, 18 Chinese, groove ride, groove hat.
And your hats are 14?
Yeah, I have my main 14, and I have the second hi-hat 13, the Pierce by Jojo Mayer.
Okay.
Yeah.
Great. Anika, give us a rundown of your gear.
Oh, this is hard because I'm switching equipment a lot. Not in companies, but what I have,
Yeah.
I use all of that. I use all the cymbals I have, and it's switching all the time. But and also with the snares, I use a lot of snares in my setup. Right now I have 3, and also these 3 snares are not the same all the time. Sometimes I switch one or the next one or the third one, and but what I can tell about the setup is that I love using big cymbals, so I'm playing minor cymbals, and I love the dark sounding stuff, the dark and light. So that's a really dry sound, actually.
Yeah, it's a big part of your sound too, with your music.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love dry sounding drum sets and sounds in general. So I using all these dry sounding cymbals, and also in my drum set, which is a Tama, Tama Star Bubinga. And the Bubinga is really heavy, a lot of lows, really fat. And for the last couple of years, I've used EC2, Evans EC2 heads on it with a specific coating which supports this dry sound, because the Bubinga is actually really fat. So I needed to, bring all this tone a little bit down, because this is a really bright sounding drum set actually with a lot of sustain if you like it. So, and you can work in different directions with this drum set. So you can have a really open sound, but with specific heads, you can bring it down to a more dry sounding kit without any muffled stuff on it, you know?
Yeah.
But I figured out several options how to use this drum set. And my actual heads, which I'm using to get more, how to say, a sound where I can play in several styles. I figured out that regular G2 white coated heads are working the best. So I'm using that for a couple of months now.
Great.
And
how about on the snare?
On the snare, it depends what sound I want to have, but usually I use, for lower tuning, I use the Onyx heads, the black ones, Evans Onyx. And for the main snare, I mainly use the HD Dry head.
And your snare is... Okay.
My snare is changing. So I love using this brass stuff, you know?
Yeah.
And also steel snares. I don't use that much wood snares anymore, actually.
Interesting.
So.
Great. I like that people are able to get an insight to the sound of both of your kits, because you each have a very unique sound and identifiable sound, you know. So I think naturally drummers like to talk about gear. You know, it's such a big part of our sound. You know, it's different than just taking a guitar out of a case. You know, there's not a lot that goes into a great guitar sound, but with drummers, we just have so much more to work with, and not anybody's drum set is exactly like someone else's. Whether it's the material, the how many plies, the bearing edge, the type of heads, the cymbals. I mean, it goes on and on and on. Even where we put stuff can change the sound of how everything projects and everything like that. So I always find it a fun topic to talk about with drummers. Let's see if we have any other questions. Oh, Tomas Argel is asking what wood is made from your drumsticks, and that's for both of you.
What?
What wood are your drumsticks made from?
Mine are American hickory. So I'm using ProMark 7A.
Okay.
Yeah, it's I think it's maple. Mine, it's Vickford. I use the Jojo Mayer signature sticks and the Ralph Ardevan drum corps sticks.
Yeah. Have you ever used your drum corps sticks on your set?
No.
No?
No.
You probably need new heads, right?
You can use Thomas Lang's sticks.
Yeah.
Yeah, there you go.
It's heavy. It's too heavy. Yeah.
Yeah. Here's a couple other questions. Ashish in Nepal. Thank you, Ashish, for joining us. He says, "Hi, Anika. This is your top fan from Nepal. Any tips for improving hi-hat technique? I can only play double strokes, single strokes, and paradiddle strokes. When I try to groove, I get stuck. You have any advice for that?"
For the hi-hat technique?
Yeah.
Did I understand that right?
Yeah.
I mean hi-hat, yeah. Hi-hat is a really interesting instrument. I love playing hi-hats, and just figure out with a simple groove, just keep it really basic and figure out how to hit the hi-hat using the stick like, hold on, I'm using my pad sticks with this part, playing the hi-hat with this part of the stick.
Like
and
the
then
shoulder.
Yes, the shoulder. Yeah, on top of the heads, not from the side, on top of the head. And then also figure out, just play with the tip without using the shoulder.
Yeah.
So that you have two sounds and just play grooves, and you have different volumes when you use this or the tip, you know, and this is really interesting to just explore the hi-hat with some basic groove stuff a little bit.
That's great advice, and also there's such a huge difference in the bounce and the response, whether you're playing the shoulder or the tip. It's almost like a completely different instrument.
Yeah, also the volume is changing, even if you use the same amount of energy. You have different volumes while using that, so it's really interesting.
Right. Great. Good question. Great advice. Thanks. Let's see what else we have. Bear with me here. So, our associate producer, Gil Cervantes, is asking, how do you feel that you're both now an influence to many drummers the same way that other drummers were influences to you? Like you are kind of the Benny Greb and the Vinnie Colaiuta and the Steve Gadd and the Sheila E. to other people. Did you ever imagine that your playing would have the influence on other drummers the way it does today?
I didn't imagine that. It wasn't the goal first. I just want to play drums, but I'm really like honored, grateful about. I know we both work and still working hard, you know, to stay in the business, to making music, to share our passion with everyone. But I didn't expect we will become like a reference, you know, in the world. But it's amazing, you know, and yeah, we appreciate it. So this is I don't know how to really react about that, but I'm just me, you know, all the time. I'm not like the Emmanuelle or, you know, Anika. It's not for me to do that, you know.
Well, I've known Emmanuelle a little bit longer than Anika, and one thing I've learned from both of you is just how humble you are. And that's also a very important element in conducting yourselves as professional musicians and business people too. Yeah. So it's great that you're both, you know, very humble. Here, I'm going to relay a question someone's asking, and I'm going to answer it first because I think I know the answer. But I still want to get the value from both your individual answers. Mauricio Sanchez Torres asks, I would like to know how much study time you recommend. And I think the answer to that is as much as possible, as long as you still leave time to eat, sleep, and use the toilet.
Yeah, but whatever.
No, just start.
Okay. Me?
You.
Okay, me. You know, it's of course, it's important to have a life. Okay, and for me, like in my opinion, practicing is very important, of course, but good practicing it must be very productive. So for me, 1 hour and a half, 2 hours, it's perfect per day. But there's so many drummers, they practice 8 hours per day. Good for you, but I'm not able to do that. You know, it's for me, it's important to hang out with friends, to refresh my head, my mind, and 2 hours in the morning for me, it's like it's the best.
Oh,
you
that's
know?
great.
Yeah, and yeah, that's it. It's more saint. You know, I don't know how to say that, but yeah, in my opinion.
How about you, Anika? And is there a particular time that you always study and practice?
Yeah, I mean, like you said, each second you have for practicing is fine, wherever it is, in the morning, at night, or, you know. But I have to say, I had a time in my life where I studied a lot, like a lot of hours per day for weeks. And I did this for a couple of years, and I can't do it anymore because of my schedule, but I have to say I really like practicing. It's like yoga for my brain. I can dive into something and I just play and just listen to your body, and this is like doing yoga.
Yeah.
And if this is the case, then it's really easy to practice without feeling stressed or without feeling pressure, to make it to the next step. So I can take it really easy in the meanwhile. So I just can recommend, like Emmanuelle said, that the quality of the practice time is the most important point. Sorry, because the time you have, if you have 5 hours and you actually just do stuff, not really practicing, then you haven't practiced, and in the end, it would have been better to share some time with your friends or something.
Yeah.
This is the thing. So be organized in your practicing and enjoy it, and then all is good.
Great advice. If you don't mind, I'm going to check for a couple more questions. So this is good. I love this question by Adam Sanchez. Thanks, Adam. He says, and then I see a couple other questions I'll get to. So Adam asks, I can imagine, or I can name dozens of male inspirations. Can you name some female drummers who inspired you?
Emmanuelle.
Okay, female drummers. But the first one I knew, is Cindy Blackman, the first one, and I was really impressed when I saw her with Lenny Kravitz in the beginning years ago, and so she was one of my influence, of course, because she's the one I saw on stage at the Montreal Drum Festival years ago too. And I was like, she's there. And because I honestly not really watch other female drummers. It's not because I didn't want, it's because I didn't know. you know?
Yeah. How about you, Anika? Do you have any female drummers that are influences to you?
I just can remember one woman where I was really impressed back in the days where I was way younger. So she's called Karen Tepperberg. I don't know. Do you know her?
No, I'm not familiar with her. Where's she from?
She is from, I guess, Israel.
Oh, really?
But I also guess she lives in the US.
Okay.
I saw some videos of her on YouTube, and I was just watching out for more because I was really impressed, and she had really a good groove and supported the music really well, and also could really lay down some crazy stuff,
Oh, wow. I'll have to look her up.
Yeah, but I can't find any stuff about her anymore. Everything is gone, and I was following her in some kind of way, but she's, I don't know, I lost her.
If I find something, I'll send it to you. I'll look for it.
Yeah, so that was really someone I was, as a female drummer, I was really impressed. And then it's the same like in Emmanuelle. I just don't know any others, or didn't know that time. I didn't know any others. So
great, thank you. And Alex Lee asks, do either of you have any interest in electronic drums?
Yeah, I guess we both are Roland artists. So
yeah.
So
and what's your favorite use of them and everything like that?
So for me, it's really interesting also for composing to use several sounds coming out of the Roland. It's less the drum set itself, like the playing on pads or something. It's more the sounds which are really interesting for me to use in compositions, and also then triggering them live and stuff like this. I love doing stuff with sounds, and I love electronic sounds like synthesizers, and also drum wise. So this is why I like it.
Great.
Yeah.
Emmanuelle, anything to add to that?
But I really like the SPDSX.
Okay.
Roland, because I use it a lot in the shows or TV shows, and of course to start loop sequences, everything like that. And I really love the new one, like the TD17. Honestly, it's very cool to practice on it. It's I'm not a gear freak, so when it's easy to use, that's perfect. It's and the TD17 for me, it's very cool because you can record yourself. It's easy, and I can record some tracks to send to friends or other guy they want to work with me, and I send some groups by the TD17, and then I record on my acoustic drums. So yeah, this is a
Great. Good
yeah,
tool.
discovery to me. Yeah.
Yeah. Great. Thank you. Tammy Mitchell Wood says, hi, friends. Hello, Tammy.
Hey, Danny!
And Peyton Taylor, hi, Peyton. Peyton asks, what stretching exercises do you do before shows? Do you do stretches? I know, Anika, you mentioned you stretch, right?
Yes.
Oh, yeah, Emmanuelle.
Yeah, I do the same. So
Yeah.
right.
Like that.
It's like a
Yeah.
magic trick.
Kind of. And I do that too. I'm sorry, it's super ugly like this, me. That's good.
Oh.
Like stretching in full extension like that, and put a pressure here,
Oh,
and the other side like that.
nice.
It's super efficient.
Good. Those are great. So there you go, Peyton. Start
Cool.
stretching. And bear with me here, just cruising through the comments. I think we got them all so far. Some great comments. You both will have to look through the comments later after it posts.
We will.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Great. And everybody, thank you so much for joining us. We really appreciate it. And as Edward Adams says, drums are gender free. Absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
That's true. Music is
Like
gender
that.
free.
Yeah, exactly. Okay, I
By the
think we
way,
got all the questions. Yeah.
Maybe we should mention the website to
Yes.
register for the camp.
Yeah,
Mhm.
absolutely. And Gilbert will drop it in too. What is the website for them to get more info and register so they can see you in Montreal in October and Germany
Yes.
in July?
It's the internationaldrumcamp.com.
Okay, great. Internationaldrumcamp.com.
Yes.
You can get the dates. You can find out more about what you're going to learn. And they'd love to
Both
see you
camps are
there.
there to register. So
Okay,
Yeah.
great. Both camps are there.
Yes.
Awesome. Very exciting stuff. Thank you both so much for taking time and coordinating
Thank
this
you.
so that the time would work, because I know
Yeah,
there's a bit of
thank
a
you.
time difference. Oh, you're welcome. Absolutely. And thank you, everybody, for joining me here on Drum Talk TV with Emmanuelle Caplette and Anika Nilles. More to come. Perhaps we'll do this again maybe 2 or 3 weeks before the actual event. Give an update on how the preparation is going and give even more secrets away as to what people will learn and what to expect and why they should attend. It almost seems like a rhetorical question to ask why, but the reasons are always valuable. So thank you so much for joining me today.
very welcome. Thank
Pleasure.
you. Dan.
Sure, hang on the line, and thanks everybody for watching. We'll see you again soon. And today, in about an hour, I'm going to have Jonathan Joseph, who spent 5 years with Jeff Beck. Now he's circling back to his gospel roots. And if you're watching this on the archive, just check the page a post or two away from this one, and you'll see me with Jonathan Joseph. Thanks, everybody. We'll see you soon.